Good morning, everyone, on this Monday morning, the 11th of January. We are now in ordinary time, and we are going to be starting in the book of Hebrews, chapter 1. This is, it's verses 1 through 6. Brothers and sisters, in times past, God spoke in partial and various ways to our ancestors through the prophets. In these last days, he spoke to us through his Son, whom he made heir of all things, and through whom he created the universe, who is the refulgence of his glory, the very imprint of his being, and who sustains all things by his mighty word. When he had accomplished purification from sins, he took his seat at the right hand of the Majesty on high, as far superior to the angels, as the name he has inherited is more excellent than theirs. For to which of the angels did God ever say, "You are my son, this day I have begotten you"? Or again, "I will be a father to him, and he shall be a son to me"? And again, when he leads the firstborn into the world, he says, "Let all the angels of God worship him." The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. This is an interesting book, the book of Hebrews. A lot of speculation has been made about who is the author, because the author isn't said. It just starts with this important statement. It's not like a typical letter like Apostle Paul. You're getting the idea. I'm writing you a letter to you. There's none of that. It just simply starts with this: brothers and sisters, in times past, God spoke. In a certain sense, all through the whole book, it's as if God is speaking to us. And so that's kind of the unique thing. Now, there's obviously references how we see it, that it's called the book of Hebrews, is because he says right in the very beginning, God spoke in partial and various ways to our ancestors. So obviously it seems to point to that it's to Jewish people that he's writing to. And so that kind of gives us a clue to a little bit about the book. But he tells us right from the get-go that God had spoken through our ancestors, through the prophets. And it was all through various ways. The burning bush with Moses, or in a vision that Isaiah has. The list could go on and on of how God spoke to the prophets. But now, in these last days, he spoke to us through the Son. So it's as if to say, they were all pointing their way, but now we finally have God's very Son speaking to us. And then he makes a bold declaration, whom he made heir of all things. It's as if to look out over the entire created order, the whole entire universe, everything that's in it. He is heir to that whole thing. And through whom he created the universe. So here we see the Son is actively involved even in the act of creation itself. It's an interesting word about here. It says through whom he created the universe. In the Greek, it's eons, which has a bigger dimension. It's actually time and space. We get our notion about eons, of time. And so in a certain sense, we're saying history itself is his. As a student in school, I remember history is his story. And then he goes on to give all these different dimensions that the Son is, the very imprint of God's being, the one who sustains all things by his mighty word. When he accomplished purification from sins. He took his seat at the right hand of majesty on high. And the big theme that's going to be through here for quite some time is his superiority to angels. Many people thought of angels way superior to us, but he wants to make, the writer here in Hebrews wants to make it crystal clear. Jesus is far superior to any of the angels. And here he goes on to say, just by scripture alone, the intimate relationship that God says, "You are my son, this day I've begotten you." That was never said of angels. Or again, he says, "I will be a father to him, and he shall be a son to me." Again, that intimacy that the Son has. But the third thing that he quotes from, "Let all the angels of God worship him." Wow. Angels worship God and God alone. So this puts us into an interesting notion. The Messiah is worshiped also. Stay safe, folks. Hopefully we get to see each other soon. Bye for now.